Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to an episode of my weekly playlist. It's Friday, so you guys know what that means. Time for me to share with you guys the games I have been playing during the week, give you guys my thoughts and opinions on them. Of course, I would like to hear your guys' thoughts, your opinions on the games I share with you. I also want to hear about the games you guys are playing, because I get so many great ideas from hearing about the games you guys play. And if you guys have any recommendations, I also appreciate any of those, as you guys have recommended some really good games, and I've actually played a couple of games on your guys' recommendations, so I really appreciate that. I've got a nice growing list. This week has been amazing. I've been on vacation since Sunday, and I don't have to go back to work until Monday, so I've got all of today, and I've got Saturday and Sunday, so I got 3 whole more days of not having to be anywhere, don't have to get up early or do anything, and it's just been a great week. I was able to sleep in a lot, relax. My brother actually came up to visit, so I got to hang out with him and my dad, and we took him out for Father's Day and had a Father's Day meal. So it was really fun, gaming, hanging out. I did some game hunting with my brother, and overall just had a fun week so far. I did get a lot of gaming in. I've playing my Mario games on my phone that I always do. But I don't always talk about those, but that's something I literally play those every day, but a little bit of those. But I've got 2 games, and I actually beat this one that I've been working on, and I got a brand new one that actually just came out. So we'll start with the first one, is the Sinking City. This was the day 1 edition. I actually completed this game on Tuesday and 100% beat this game, got all the achievements and got all the side quests completed, all the main quests, did it all, completely beat the game, and man, I loved my time with this game. It's awesome. So this takes place in the 1920s during Prohibition, and you play, the main character is Charles Reed, who is a private investigator, and you're being plagued by hallucinations of seeing monsters and yourself dying and creatures and shit, and he's all looks really paranoid and stuff, and so he wants to figure out what's causing all this shit, and so it leads him to the city of Oakmont, which is a fictional city in Massachusetts, and he's from Boston, Massachusetts, and he goes to this town to investigate where all this shit is happening from, and that's where the story takes place, and he gets all kinds of shit just happens to him in the story and everything, and you get really entwined in the story, so it's really cool. It has a H.P. Lovecraft based off of like the mythos of that. So if you guys have played Call of Cthulhu or anything else with H.P. Lovecraft, you'll know the kind of horror story and stuff you'll get in this, because this is a horror game. It's awesome, really cool, really dark. The music is just phenomenal in this game. The atmosphere is just great, really draws you in. So the city has actually been flooded, and it's been by supernatural needs. So big portions of the city are actually flooded, and I've shown you guys before the map, but how decent sized this city is for the city of Oakmont. But all this blue area is all the water, where part of the city is underwater, and you traverse that through boats, which you can control, and that's pretty cool to having that. Anywhere else, though, you can go on foot, so it's really cool. So this game does have RPG elements and stuff to it, where you can level up the main character, and you get that by earning experience points by completing missions, and doing those will unlock stuff, abilities for your character. You can give him more health, make weapons do more damage, and you take less damage, and there's a whole variety of stuff that you can upgrade in the game, which is really cool. And by completing some of the side quests, you also can unlock costume, because there are several different outfits that Charles Reed can wear, and I have the investigator pack, so I got the map of Oakmont, which is in this, and then I also got access to a first aid kit, and then I also unlocked an investigator outfit. But if you complete some of the side missions, you actually can unlock other outfits, and there's also some unlocked by the story missions too, which is really cool. So there was like a gangster outfit, there's one that has an old plague mask where they wore those big masks with like the cone, so that would have one of those. A man of science, you have one that looks really cultish like, and that's from the DLC, which I actually did buy the DLC for this for $15, and it got you 3 more side missions to go through. And for me, it was worth it, because I only paid $20 for this game, brand new. If you wanted to go online, the digital thing, you could buy the the Necronomicon version of the game for $75. Well, I got all that content for $15 and then $20 thing. So for $35, I got that whole Necronomicon edition for myself, and so I have my physical copy. So for me, I really enjoyed that they had that extra DLC. A little tough if you guys are looking for any guides online, which I do recommend having a guide. You can figure stuff out on your own, but have that guide there if you're trying to 100% like the achievements, because there's certain things you have to do in a certain order to unlock them, so you don't have to do multiple playthroughs, and you can use the save system where you can reload the save and then do a different choice, because that's another thing that's really cool about this game is every mission has a different outcome to it, and you ally with different people. In a mission example, kill one guy or kill the other guy, and it doesn't have a huge impact on the game overall, but there's some narrative stuff to it, which is really cool. So you have different choices you can make in the game as you're playing through. So I really like the game. It's great. This does have a crafting system in it, and you do collect loot throughout the worlds, and you use that to craft stuff. Like you can craft ammo, you can craft health packs, you can also craft antipsychotics, because the main character does suffer from his sanity being attacked. So you have to watch out on his sanity meter, which is next to his health meter too, because if that starts getting low, the dude really starts like freaking out and sees all kinds of shit. Is it really there? Is it not there? And he's like, you can see him, he starts like going like this, and there's sometimes like he'll take his gun and put it up to his head like he's gonna blow his brains out, because he's like freaking out. And if your sanity does get down too low, then you'll start, some little phantom type monsters appear, and they can start attacking you, and you have to kill them. Now, so if you take antipsychotic, boost your sanity meter back up, but you also, if you get away from what's causing it, it'll refill on its own, and he'll start going back normal. But it's really cool though, when that meter starts going down, he starts hearing voices and stuff and whispering and shit, and it just makes it look like the dude's going insane. So it's really cool. And there's combat in the game too, so there's several different weapons. You fight humans, which the human enemies are fairly easy to beat. If you can get a headshot on them, you can almost kill them in one shot. Otherwise, some of them take like 3 or 4 or 5 shots to like the chest. But the best bet is to go for heads, and of course they have guns they can use on you. And then the main thing you fight are the various creatures that are in the game that you have to fight, and some of them are weak guys, and there's some really strong ones. But as you level up your character, they become easier to defeat them. Now, the game did mention about how like resources are scarce, and you got to be conserving ammo, which you do at the beginning of the game. But as you go through exploring, and if you do a lot of exploring like I do, and go through buildings and search through containers and stuff for the loot, you can keep making your ammo and your health packs and everything for your character, which makes the game a lot easier. And another thing I really like too, here's a little trick for you guys, is if you leave an area and go back, the loot will actually respawn in those containers. So it's really good. You can grind out a little bit there when you need to get some health and stuff. So overall, really good game. I only died a couple of times in this game, not too much. I was playing on the medium difficulty setting. There's also, you can change the setting of the investigation, because your guy's an investigator. You actually get to investigate crimes in the game, and your character has a supernatural power where he has this power of the mind thing, which he can turn on, and he can see things in the world that other people can't see because of his abilities. So it's really cool. And then there's a point where all the main different missions and stuff, where you'll actually go into this other world, and you'll see like an apparition. You actually see stuff that happens in the past, and you'll see different events. Sometimes there might be 2 things, 4 things, might be 5 things. You'll play them all, and then you have to, as the character, have to put them in order to get an idea of what the story's going on. And you have to make sure, like if somebody breaks in and then they set something on fire and then they get shot, you got to make sure you put it in the right, correct order, so that you can continue the story, and then he'll narrate and tell you what was going on. So it's really cool. You have to listen to clues that characters tell you, and clues about finding stuff. So there's different places you can go to in Oakmont, like the police station, the library, the university and stuff, and they have a thing called an archive, and in there you actually use the clues you find to try to unlock other clues. Like you got to figure out what a guy did. So you found out that this guy went to is a mental patient, so you actually go to the hospital and look up the patient records and put it, look up like citizens and you're like a time period and stuff, and you can actually search through that to get clues to continue the story. Of course, you can make that really easy where it tells you basically where to go and what to do, or you can make it like Master Sleuth difficulty. The game doesn't hold your hand at all. You don't get anything. You have to literally figure out on your own, which can make it really difficult. So I played in the middle ground where it kind of held your hand with some stuff, but didn't completely. I also had a online guide that I had, was only to make sure that I got all the achievements because I wanted to 100% that, and that I didn't get to any point of no return, because there is the final mission in the game. It actually will warn you, hey, if you continue from this, you can't go back. So you can play the main story all the way to there and then go through and beat all the side missions, which I suggest doing the side missions earlier than waiting later, because as you progress through the story, the enemies get tougher and they're getting more drawn out and longer, and it just definitely pays to be leveled up before you go to end game. And I can let you know, though, before I made it to the last level, I was actually maxed out on my knowledge points, and I actually had everything unlocked, and I still had a few knowledge points to spare, which I like. Some games, when you play, like, you can't max everything out and you have to choose what you want to. This has 3 different things with like vigor and things like that. You actually can max him out completely, so I really, really enjoyed that. It was really great. Loved the story. The characters were great. The graphics I thought were good. Now, of course, they're not like the best graphics in the world, because this obviously wasn't made by like a big AAA studio. It was made by Frogwares, but it was still very enjoyable for me, and I really think you guys should give The Sinking City a try. It's very odd and bizarre, but if you're into the H.P. Lovecraft type of horror and stuff, you'll be right at home with this game. You like Call of Cthulhu and stuff like that, definitely give this game a try. I really enjoyed it. There is a point at the end where you can save, and there's 3 different endings you can actually get in the game, and you can just reload your save, and so that's what I said it'll do, and to see all 3 different endings, which is really cool. It's one of those games I'd love to see another one, a sequel to this, but I did hear about that there was some issues and stuff with the game, so because of that, I don't know if they were having some legal issues and stuff. I don't know if they'll ever release another one, but I really enjoyed this Sinking City, and I'm glad that I gave it a try. I had saw it at GameStop, and it just looked really cool, and just reading from the back, I'm like, oh, this would be cool to buy, but then I saw that they only had this Day 1 edition, so there was no code, and it was missing the map. And they wanted like $18 for it, and I looked on my phone on eBay, hey, it's only $20, I might as well buy the damn thing brand new. So that's what I did, and I'm so glad I did. I probably put at least 35 hours into this game to 100% it, and I really, really did enjoy my time with it, and I think you guys should definitely check out The Sinking City. It's on the PS4, it's on Xbox One, it's also on the PC. This did have a lot of glitches and stuff when it was first launched, and so they patched it since. I have noticed a couple issues, like sometimes it doesn't want to load. I have to actually try to load the game twice. That's happened a few times. I had it crash once on me, and then sometimes you'll occasionally see some screen tearing, but I mean, those few little minor things like that did not get rid of my enjoyment of that game at all. So definitely give it a try. Definitely give it a try, guys. I highly recommend The Sinking City. It's a wonderful game. And now my other game, which is actually on, you guys might hear it playing in the background, and I just got this on a Tuesday. It did get kind of shitty reviews, but I'm enjoying it so far, and that was Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. This one is I got the Steelbook edition. It came with an art book, digital soundtrack. It also came with some DLC and stuff. So it's got that cool art book there, and then a really sweet Steelbook. And so this one is pretty cool. Now, I had thought before I saw trailers about it that it was going to be one of the top-down action RPG, but it's a third-person action RPG, which you can also play co-op with 3 other players, so up to 4 people can play this. I've just been playing it solo so far. People were complaining about the game not being very long and things kind of looking the same, which so far for me, I've enjoying it. I mean, I feel like I'm going to get my $60 worth of it. Would I recommend it to everybody to buy this version? No. It is on, if you have Xbox Game Pass, it's actually on the Game Pass, so you can check it out that way. I would definitely recommend waiting till this goes down to like $20 or something before I would recommend it to people. And you just have to be a big fan of like the Dungeons and Dragons and dwarven setting, fight with dwarves and druids, just that kind of stuff. You have to be really into that. Would I recommend it to you? Because it's not the best game in the world, but I enjoy these kind of games, and I'm okay with like a 10-hour or less game. Like, I've got so many damn games that take 50, 100, 200, 300 hours. Like, I don't need any more of those. Like, I'd be fine with being able to beat this in a couple weeks, and then eventually be able to play it again, because you actually can go back through the story and play it on harder and harder difficulties to unlock better loot and stuff and make the game more difficult. So far I've just beat 2 missions on it besides the tutorial mission. You have 4 different characters you get to play as. One's a dwarf, one is like a rogue, there's a guy that looks like a Viking dude, and then there's also an elf that you can play as, which is the one I'm playing as, him. And you can't adjust their names or anything, so I know some people are complaining about that, but if you guys have played the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance games, those ones you just played as one of the 3 characters they had, or the second one I think had like 5 characters, had a couple of hidden ones you can unlock. Like, these were always about playing the story of those characters and not creating your own character in the story. So I was okay with that. There's all kinds of different loot and stuff to get this, from your common all the way up to your legendary one, and depending on how you do in combat and stuff, you'll unlock and find better loot for your character. So I'm liking it so far. I think it controls really well. I like the variety of attacks. Every character has so many different moves you can unlock, passive abilities and other abilities. You have magic abilities, different weapons you can find and upgrade, and there's a merchant you can. Now, one thing I do want to warn people, though, that is, unlike playing other games like this, when you find loot in the middle of a mission, you can't actually switch the equipment. You have to wait till the end of the mission that you're on and beat it before you can unlock that loot. So that's the only kind of downside. I didn't really like that, but that's kind of stays true to how the actual Dungeons and Dragon is, playing with the pen and paper Dungeons and Dragons. So definitely interesting. So there's some kind of expansion thing on this, and then I also got some extra weapon stuff and a digital soundtrack, which it does have pretty phenomenal music. I do like the music, and I'm liking the story so far. And it's definitely something I'd be interested in playing co-op with somebody that, it'd be kind of cool to check out the co-op on this, because I do like co-op games. And so far I'm liking Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. I definitely would not recommend this complete Steelbook edition for $60 to anybody else. I pre-ordered this back in April, didn't know a whole lot, but I just like, I like that kind of game, so I'll just, give it a try, and I like Steelbooks and stuff, and I was like, if it's not the best game in the world, it's, it's not the end of the world for me, and, I wasn't 100% satisfied, but for me, I'd say this was about a solid 7 out of 10, but I would definitely recommend to wait till it's a $20 price drop, or if you have to happen to own Ultimate Game Pass thing, you can download it for free on there and check it out and see how you like it. I'm really loving it. I love these kind of games. I can play games that aren't, the best in the world. I can play some mediocre games, and I still can get enjoyment and fun out of them. I like to play games and experience them, and this is the kind of game I like, and I've been having a blast with it. Definitely, you guys should check out. I would just recommend wait until there's a price drop on it, until they fix some of the bugs, because there have been some bugs and issues people have been dealing with. So I would wait on this one till later in the year when it's on sale, or like I said, if it's on Game Pass and you have that, pick it up on there, check it out. But definitely your guys' thoughts on these games that I share with you today. We talked about The Sinking City. This was an awesome horror game set in 1920s, H.P. Lovecraft type of world with horror elements and stuff. Your character looks like he hasn't slept in 20 years, and it's just has a really good story that I was really just sucked into. Like, I just had to keep playing this game this week. Like, I spent the Tuesday, I spent like 12 hours the whole day just playing it when my wife was at work, just sucked in. I don't want to bleed it. I just go to the next thing, and I want to just keep playing and keep playing. It really had me sucked in. Has really good voice actors, and I did want to mention this, that if you guys have played the Terminator Resistance game, the guy who plays the main character in that, he actually voices some of the characters in this game. So they did get some pretty cool voice actors for the game. Like, the voices were done really well. So that was something else I liked. Like the story, you have main story you can go through, but you also have some side quests you can do. You have things to unlock. Has a crafting system. There are no merchants at all in the game. There is no currency system. Everybody pays you in bullets, and then you can use those bullets for combat, because the city's been destroyed, so there's no economy system there other than bullets. All kinds of weird people in the world, too. You'll hear they'll run into, they'll talk. Sometimes random NPCs will fight you. Sometimes there's random NPCs who will fight each other. It just makes you laugh. You'll hear a punching noise and two dudes will be punching out, and sometimes somebody will take a gun and shoot someone else. So it's just zany, crazy shit will happen in this game. And then you have 3 endings to unlock, and if you save before you pick the ending, you can go back, reload that save, and see all the different endings at once. So I like that. It was really cool. Of course, it's not like there's a big thing that like wraps up in the endings. There's some kind of vague about it, but overall, I really enjoyed the Sinking City. Think you guys should check it out. And then, of course, we talked about Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance. This game just came out. It's a fun hack and slash game that has a third-person perspective. It's not that top-down that I thought it was going to be. Would I recommend it to you now for full price? I would say wait until it goes to about that $20 price or less. You know, get it later on when it's used and after they fix some of the bugs and issues. But overall, you know, I love these kind of games. It's not like it's reinventing the wheel or anything. You know, it's not going to be... it's not going to be as good as like a Diablo game, but it's still an enjoyable game for me. I would just recommend, you know, wait till it's on sale, or if you have the Game Pass, it's on there and you can download it for free and check it out. But definitely think you guys should check it out at some point. Let me know your guys' thoughts if you played the Sinking City or if you have played the Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance that just came out. Let me know your guys' thoughts on those. I'd also like to know what games you guys have been playing, and if you have any recommendations at all, let me know, as I always love getting recommendations on new games to check out. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care, have an amazing day, and Sleepy will see you next time.